whatever. We'll you'll see us. She'll see her there.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah, she's
so
great.
thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just waiting for Mr. Hilgoss.
Yeah,
Hilligoss.
Am I
Hilligoss.
saying your name?
Yep.
Hilgoss. I'm saying your name
Hilligoss.
correctly?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Could be any second.
Yeah, and then
I
I'll
would.
share it.
Yeah, so you should refresh it because I see it come up now.
Yep. It's on
Nice.
my
Yep, I just got it.
page.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All
Yeah.
right. People are let me share it to just share it, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
just share it.
Just hit share. It'll say it might ask you like where do you want to share it. Just put it on your timeline.
And you're
Sounds
sharing it to
good.
Springnut and the cafe.
And I just shared it to my page. Let's see if it went on. And everybody's hearing us doing this now anyway.
Correct.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
live.
We're live.
There we go. We're
rolling.
live.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And
That's
Johnny,
great.
just so you know, I'll have
We're
this.
live.
Yeah, if
There it is.
somebody, if you've got a Johnny, just so you know, I download this and then I put it on YouTube, and then
Right.
anybody can watch it regardless of whether they have Facebook
Yeah.
or not. So
Yeah, I did tell people. I did tell people that. So
that'll
that's
be
cool.
tomorrow.
For
That'll probably be tomorrow.
yeah, and like 2 weeks from now, we can share it again. Whatever. If anybody even cares,
Everyone
that's
cares.
nice.
Everybody
know,
cares.
We're the hottest show
I
on
don't know.
television. Okay.
Well, I know you, but I'm talking about me. I'm honored you guys even asked me. I'm
you
not
kidding
one of
me?
the I'm not one of the singers of one of the bands. You know,
Doesn't matter. No,
Everyone knows you. Everyone.
I
Dude,
like to say, hey, I'm just a bass player, but then other people go, no, you're more important than that. I'm like, whatever.
You're not okay,
It's
Johnny.
kind of
Just as
silly.
a point of reference, we had another bass player named Gary Talent on here,
Oh,
and
there you go.
and
Hi.
Gary's very methodical with what he wants to say, and
Well,
he's thinking about. He's got so much history. You're
well,
at a different spectrum, so you're good. You're good, man.
you know what's all right? Now that you mentioned Gary Talent, can we get into it?
Sure.
Because never a huge Springsteen fan through the years. I have to admit, and there were so many songs of his I never even heard. So I had not enough knowledge. And this band called Saints in the City, a Springsteen tribute. They asked me, they needed a bass player. They asked me to join. I had to learn all these songs. I had no idea that Born to Run, something I've heard my whole life, Thunder Road, that these songs are like Broadway musicals. It's like 4 songs in one song. It changes, it's long, it goes again. Right away, I was like, wow, this guy is so much more of an amazing writer than I thought he was. And then I'm hearing other songs, and I Wish I Were Blind.
Mhm.
They asked me to learn.
Wow.
Never heard this song in my life, and I started listening to it. I actually welled up. I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, that is a powerful, powerful song. So yeah, and now speaking of Bruce Springsteen tribute bands, I just got asked by the longest tribute band running ever, the B Street Band,
Mhm.
just asked me to be their bass player as well. So as long as I don't have any gigs with Willie, I can do them, and there's a lot of them. Those guys are still really busy, and we did a gig in Atlantic City, like last week, and it was great. And we played the song Atlantic City in Atlantic City at the Hard Rock Cafe, and it was fun. Yeah, I really had a blast doing that with those guys. But
Johnny, tell me if I'm wrong. As far as Gary's playing, like I'm not a musician, I can't play, I have
yeah,
no ear for it, but I love music, obviously. Gary's playing, it's so subtle that if you're not paying attention, like you don't know it's there until you
well,
actually start listening.
well, can I tell you? I'll disagree with that
Okay.
proudly
Okay.
because this is why we got into this in the first place. I had to what I have a way of learning songs. I don't know what other people do. I have to sit, press play, I have to hear it, and my bass has to be at a certain volume so I hear what the other bass player is doing. So now I'm honing in, like you said, you have to pay attention because it depending on the way things are mixed, how loud the bass is in the mix. And I'm like, this son of a bitch, what's he doing? So now I'm like rewinding little parts because I'm really getting into Gary now. And like a lot of 70s music, the bass was very fluent, almost actually busy. And these days, if I walked in and just started playing whatever the hell, like busy like that, I'd get fired. Like it wouldn't even get hired. Like sometimes you're not allowed to be that busy. He found a way to play melodically still keep the rhythm and not get in the way of the vocals or solos or anything. I love Gary Tallent's bass playing so much. He's so, I don't know, I want to say underrated because no one talks about his great bass playing.
Yep.
But I challenge anyone to go learn it because he is all over that neck in a beautiful, beautiful way. And I'm so happy. And just like I do with the other tribute bands I play with Damn the Torpedoes, the Tom Petty one, and Blushing Brides, the other one that's been around since 1980, 82, 83. I'm honing in on the bass parts of Bill Wyman or the multiple bass players that Tom Petty had. And I'm sure Damn the Torpedoes Rich, he's really passionate about what he does. And I'm sure he appreciates that I didn't just play anything my way. I wanted to play it the way it is on the record, but then I'll throw my own little spin on it because, Tom Petty, it is Southern rock, so to speak, some of it. And it's, for lack of a better word, it's kind of white. So I kind of like throw a little of my Motown experience in on it. I guess I see the audience starting to bop their head a little more. But yeah, so that's my trick. And when I honed in on Gary's playing, I was just like blown away by Bruce's playing that no one talks about either. They just see him as like a singer, a songwriter, and now an advocate, obviously, for peace and love, but they don't see him as this killer guitar player. He comes on stage with Willie. We're playing one guitar like we do every year. He's at Light of Day, and he just starts playing around, and I'm like, shit, that should have been on the original recording. That's really good. I could play like 3 little notes, but it's such a hook within a hook within a hook because he's a writer, because he's an amazing writer. So when he plays guitar, he's still writing. He's not noodling. He's not just going up and down scales like some guy just trying to show off. He's still writing parts, So there's really a lot to be admired. All the whole E Street band.
It's amazing that you could pick that up, while you're playing with him, because, I guess the audience wouldn't pick it up, but you as a musician could pick that up.
Well, if you guys ever notice, he's got 2 amplifiers, and you see amplifiers are faced like this. His are faced like almost to the ceiling, and I'm standing right in front of them. I didn't have a choice. When he starts playing, I'm going to hear them. Me and James Maddox standing next to each other, right at this Light of Day.
Right.
Yeah, we heard his beautiful notes loud and clear, and it was great. Yeah, he's such a great guy too, and he's so very generous with his time for Light of Day and friends with everyone. And he's one of those guys, like, there's a lot of famous people that I've got to have the privilege to meet. As soon as they walk in the room, whatever the vibe is, they might come in, hey, whatever, like, you'll always know that here comes the singer, the singer of the band, whatever it is, or, the actor or whatever. But he could be standing right next to you and he just blends in. I always tell people that, they're afraid to meet their heroes. If Bruce is one of your heroes, you don't need to be afraid to meet him because he is as cool as you want him to be.
I think everybody that's been on this show has said the same thing.
Yeah. And there was one time, I swear to you, he was standing right next to me. There was a group of us a couple of Light of Days ago, me, Reagan Richards, like, we're all hanging out. And I started almost talking about him. And then I realized he was like, oh, shit. Like he would have heard me. I was like, and the bragging rights, the only thing I'm so happy about, I think he actually, I'd like to believe this, that because of Willie, I think he actually knows my name. I swear to God, I think he said, hey, Johnny. And I was like, did he just say my name? I'm like, oh, shit, he knows my name. Because, I mean, I did play with Jesse Malin for 5 years. And I know he's a fan of those records, especially The Fine Art of Self-Destruction. We recorded that in 2002, 2001. Yeah, and I know he likes that record. And I think he knows more than we think he knows about who's on what record.
Oh yeah.
We'd like to think, oh, he's a big famous guy. He's far removed. I think he's more in than we know. He knows good music, and he appreciates good music. even if it's like alternative. And speaking of Jesse, I got to tell you, I'm wearing his bracelet
Nice.
at
Aw.
PMA.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nice.
I've been wearing this ever since someone gave it to me. And if you see the other one, Light of Day, I don't know
Light
if
of
it's
Day.
backwards or whatever.
2025.
Yeah,
I have one of those.
I still have that. I mean, look, I got a fresh T-shirt. I got dressed up for you guys.
All right.
Put on
We
the
Yeah.
jewelry
appreciate
and
it.
everything.
I see you changed the color of your T-shirt. I mean, that's
Yeah,
good.
it's my favorite one. I swear,
Right.
it's my favorite one. I got
I
like 20
believe
of
you.
them.
I wear black all the time too, so just
Yeah, you know, it's a thing. Yeah.
so
Howard, go ahead.
we haven't properly started the show, so I want to introduce
Okay.
everybody, and no, it's okay.
You're
We
good.
love
You're
it.
good.
We love
Okay.
it. This is what we
All right.
want. I told you, John.
Good.
This is
Yeah,
what we want. When someone doesn't have nothing to say, we're screwed.
Oh, it's
We're
right.
done.
Well, listen,
Done.
well, at least there's three of you to make up for it. You guys can talk to each other.
Right. All right. So, guys, I want to welcome everyone to another edition of the Spring Nut Cafe. We just came off of Joe Grishecki. It was a great night.
Joey G.
And we said, how can we continue? We got to ride the wave, like we always say. So another great artist, another great musician, a great guy, that's for sure. Everyone in the Asbury scene, I mean, especially, if you've been in contact with our next guest, he's a genuine, down-to-earth, approachable a person, such a sweetheart. And no,
Oh, come on.
Oh, stop it. Stop
Oh,
it.
stop it.
See, aren't you glad you came on the show now?
It's great.
Right. So, but Johnny needs no introduction. He's a legend in Asbury and in everything he does. And we're so proud and honored to have Mr. Johnny Pisano on the Spring Nut Cafe.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I was, like I was saying, I'm like, who the hell am I that you guys are asking me? And I'm so appreciative and honored that you guys even asked me to do this. I did put out a punk record out. So to like go a little further than just being other people's bass players. But that's been 9 years, and I've had these other songs recorded. Not recorded, I had these other songs in my head, just recorded on like my phone. But I'm finally going to have a reason to do or ask people like you guys to do interviews again, because I'm ready to release these songs. So this timing, you may not know it, but I've already started recording. I don't, Anthony Kryzan? Familiar with him? He was the second guitar player for the Spin Doctors. He also has his own music. You can look him up, Anthony Kryzan. Anyway, he has his own studio in Rowden, New Jersey, and he's amazing. I mean, his guitar playing, he's a great singer. He's a great drummer. He's the drummer, singer for Best of the Eagles, the tribute band. So he's got his hand in a bunch of pots. Anyway, I've been going to his studio, and I've been recording my newer stuff, which is not punk rock. The first record was most of it was punk rock, hence the name, Johnny Pisano's Punk Rock Pizzeria.
Everybody gets a slice.
Everybody gets a slice. So now the newer stuff is more singer-songwritery, more just rock. I actually got to play some of those songs in Light of Day, 2017. I think Pellegrossi let me do the opening night for. So I might have to pull another favor once this comes out and ask him if he would have me again do that. There's a guy also, Dave Steckert, that does Jesse Malin videos and other people's videos. He does Jimmy Kimmel commercials. Like he's great videographer. And I believe we're going to start doing a video for one of the songs I have that's not even finished yet in March. So I'm getting more excited and psyched for these things. So you guys asking me to do this, the timing is weird and perfect and meant to be.
Well, and when the record's ready to come out, you can come back on. We'll have you again.
Thanks. I'll try to get it done. It's taken a long time because honestly, I'm so busy playing with these other bands. I'm in like 13 bands. I'm on call at least.
Wow.
I mean, like obviously Willie's my priority, but then you got, Jake Dissel asked me. I'm in. I love that kid.
Yeah.
I can't even call him a kid anymore. He's
No.
21 now. He's a man.
We were saying
And
he's played with us when he was 13 years old.
Wow.
he played with Damn the Torpedoes at 9.
It's
There's
crazy.
footage. They have footage of him at 9 singing, playing and singing an Eagles tune. Yeah, and he's so little. It's awesome. And now he's got a great management team, a great team behind him, and he's I watched American Idol 2 weeks in a row, and he's not on yet,
Yeah,
but
not
he
yet.
will be on American Idol. Which, yeah, and he told me, he's like, it's whatever, but it's his record company hooked him up with it, and it is a good promotional publicity thing. So, however it works out with American Idol, it's already great. All he's got to do is show his face on there once. It's already great.
Right.
So we'll see how far he gets, and we're all rooting for him. Yeah.
What label are you going to be on, Johnny?
Me, I don't have a label. So if you know anybody,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Yes, Spring Nut Records. We're
There we go.
The next venture will Spring Nut Records.
If you got a machine, like a machine behind you, like look what happened to Bobby Mahoney's a guy that's been working so hard. Want to say his whole life. When we say our whole lives, we could go back 30, 40 years. With Bobby Mahoney, he's still young as well. He just works his ass off, and then he gets some kind of a deal with Little Steven's label.
Right.
And that's like, in our community, that's like being blessed by the Pope. I'm so happy for him, so proud and happy for him. And he's still going, and he's still writing, and he's touring Germany and stuff like that. So I figured maybe, who knows, I'll put the stuff out. Maybe I could join Bobby and do some house concerts in Germany. Maybe I could pull a favor and ask somebody to open up for them or something. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to jinx it by putting the carriage in front of the horse, but
well, we're here to support you. And
that's the idea anyway. Yeah, I mean, the last record I did a pledge. Pledge was the thing back then. I did a pledge campaign, and I could not believe how this community came together between the Bruce community, the Willie community, the Jesse community, and people just throwing money. And I was able to record the record and buy some merchandise as well. And it was amazing. Yeah, it was just fantastic.
Johnny, I was listening to your record yesterday, and then I got to the end, and I saw one guitar, and I'm like, wait a minute, like what is this?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Johnny's album, Johnny Pisano's Punk Rock Pizzeria, Everybody Gets a Slice. Last song is One Guitar Man, and it's a reggae version of One Guitar, and it knocked me out. I was like, you get certain songs ingrained in your head, and Willie's song obviously is like, once it gets in there, it's there. But I was okay, I can dig this. Like, this is cool.
I'm so glad you like it. Some people, they don't like reggae or whatever, but I got Willie's hook is infectious, right? Na 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 na. So I twisted his hook, and it's still hooky because my hook is na 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 na, but it's still infectious. And I actually had Willie come into the studio and sing on it. And in the middle of that song, I introduce him, and he sings a little of the last verse, and he's singing the choruses too. And there's like a little, if you go on YouTube, there's a video of it in the studio of us. And that was, again, going around the bend, Dave Stecker, the videographer, he was also the engineer for that studio session. Back then, Willie's, his managers wanted to see how many people would cover his song, One Guitar, their own versions. And they were going to sell it on iTunes back when, people were actually still buying records before Spotify existed. That's how many years we're going back. And, a bunch of people did, but maybe not enough. And it just, whatever happened. But there are a lot of versions of One Guitar out there for that.
Yeah, when I first heard it, I was like, is that Willie singing? No, that's Johnny.
Yeah,
And then I had to rewind it a couple times, but then Willie did come in. I was like, okay, that's Willie.
Exactly.
But you sounded just like Willie when you were singing the first part of the song.
I love it, man. Yeah. And there's a few stories with that song. So there's a Willie covers record out there, and it's called Willie Nile Uncovered. And there's a picture of his Fender, and a bunch of people, including Nils, who did God's Secret. I forget the name of the song. Willie song. He covered a Willie song, and he did it beautifully. And so I could proudly say I'm on a record with Nils. because we're on the same record, the Willie covers record. Yeah. So as far as the Springsteen band, the E Street Band goes, I mean, I'm friends with Charlie DiGiorgano.
Giordano.
Yeah, he's amazing. I've been on stage with him. I've been on stage with Steven a bunch of times with Jesse Malin New Year's Eve parties with Billy Joel Green Day whatever. I played with Max a few times because I played with Remember Jones, and we did the Meatloaf bit, Bad Out of Hell.
Yep.
Yeah, so Max is behind me on that one, so it was amazing to just lock in with his playing because he is a amazing drummer, and Bruce. So there's a few E Street Band members that I've been with proudly, I could say, either on a record with or on stage with. You know, it's a nice notch in my bedpost, so to speak. Yeah.
You know, so when I was trying to do the promotion for this thing, and I was listening to your music also I listened to the one guitar reggae. I got thrown off.
Yeah.
Time I thought I was like, is something wrong with my phone? but then there was one song that I loved was Superhero, and
oh, thanks. Yeah,
that one I loved.
I'm
a big superhero fan, so I said superhero, and then I had the picture of like Ryan has him jumping, you jumping on his head right now. So so I said superhero, and this is perfect. I mean, but it's a great song. I actually loved it. So good.
I grew up watching obviously Saturday morning cartoons. That was kind of like my babysitter, and we would watch, Mighty Mouse was one of my favorites. So I got the Mighty Mouse theme, but the thing was, I was going to ask to see if I could just use the Mighty Mouse theme, but somebody said, "You're crazy. That's going to cost you like $30,000. So I don't know if you're familiar with Arlen Files. He's an amazing artist that lives down there. He's actually, I think he became councilman of his area down in Matawan. I think he lives somewhere down there. And he has a home studio, and he reproduced all the instruments on the Mighty Mouse theme. And I went and sang and with him. And here I come. So I did the whole bit. And so then I took that and I put that to the intro of the song Superhero.
Oh, that was what it was, right?
That's what it was, yeah. And then in the middle of the song, I had this whole string arrangement that I had. I sang him note for note, and he played the string arrangement, and he cellos, and it's all on keyboard, but it's real samples of cellos and violins and violas. And then I got that, and so I wanted to sound like an old TV. So I got it, and I made it sound really small, so that the intro of the real song, Superhero, comes in really big. But if you listen, there's a hidden track at the end of the 9 songs, at the end of One Guitar Man, I wait like 10, 15 seconds, and then Mighty Mouse theme comes back, bigger production. So it's actually on that record twice.
Yeah, I'm more of a Captain America guy, but
Yeah, that's all right. Nothing wrong. Yeah,
superheroes are superheroes. Mighty Mouse, Captain America, same thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love all superheroes. I'm totally into it. Yeah.
So Johnny, just for any background for anybody that doesn't know you already, if you could just tell us like where you grew up, how you got into music, influences, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, you got it. I was born and raised and sitting here right now in Bath Beach, Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I've been here. Yeah.
I'm a Brooklyn boy.
Yeah, are you? Okay. What part of Brooklyn?
Midwood.
Midwood. Okay. About 20 minutes from here. Yeah. And as you know, back in the day, I grew up here. I was a kid in the 70s and a teenager in the 80s. I'm not hiding my age. I'm 57. I don't really care. I don't hide my age anymore. This neighborhood was all mafia. It was run by the mafia, and I just grew up with it. I was just used to it, and in a way, not even in a way, it was just one of the things as a teenager I rebelled against, because everybody calls them Guidos now. Back then we called them cousins. All the cousins like, hey, you know who my uncle is? Hey, you know who my father is? And I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Everybody has family members that are connected in this neighborhood to someone, and that's all I could talk about in that subject. However, however, it was something to rebel against. So, like for example, like if the Fujin kid is wearing Capizios, I'm not wearing Capizios. I'm wearing motorcycle boots. I'm doing the opposite of any. I was dyeing my hair all kinds of colors, and just I got into punk and I got into new wave is what was coming out at the time, and I just wanted to be anything they weren't. And I think what I've had conversations with Willie about this. If you watch that movie, A Bronx Tale, how these things happen is just like the movie, where the little kid is admiring these guys on the corner, and they say, "Hey, kid, man, do me a favor, grab this bag. Don't look in the bag. Go deliver it to this guy, Tony, 3 blocks away. Come back, and I'll give you something." And it gives you $10. You're like, "Oh my God, I got $10," and you're 11 years old, and before you know it, you're in and you grow up with it, and then you're in deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you're either dead or in jail, which is what most of those guys are now. And I really do feel music saved me, because when I was 12 years old, me and my friend Mike Buffer up the block, still lives up the block actually. He We grew up learning how to play together, which started out, a big boom box in my bedroom, and we would play Kiss records, and I would have a baseball bat, and I'd pretend to be Gene Simmons, and he would have, we'd play paddle ball, so he'd have a paddle, and he'd be Ace Frehley. So his neighbor, which is again, that guy moved to Staten Island, Emil Crisatello. I got to drop names while I'm here. I'm very happy to have him in our lives. He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll teach you both how to play." Well, I said, "Well, I want to play bass." It's very rare that you find someone who learned how to play their first instrument bass. It's usually they play guitar and go to bass later. My first instrument was bass. And I said, "Oh, no problem. I'll teach you bass and you guitar at the same time." And he did, while simultaneously blowing pot smoke in our faces. He was teaching us how to play, right? So, to a certain degree, I never learned how to read, but from that, I wanted to learn songs. He taught us scales. He taught us how to find all the notes on the neck, to a degree. And then I said to him, well, he taught me how to play We Got the Beat from the Go-Go's, and it was The Police.
Breath you take.
No, sorry, the other one. "Oh, I tried before to tell her all the feelings." That song.
Every little thing she
I
does.
really think she does is magic. Yeah. So I learned that, but he didn't teach me every note. So I'm like, "What is he doing there? What's Sting doing there?" And he goes, "That's for you to find out. You go home and you use your ear." So I didn't want to ruin my vinyl. So I put the vinyl on cassette, and I would sit there with the bass, and I would press rewind play. And I would go, rewind play. And I would fish around the neck until I thought I had it. And whether I was right or wrong, I was developing my ear. So I just play by ear. And even now, if someone gives me music, I just give me the songs. Like Remember Jones gave me Bat Out of Hell Part 1 and 2, and I ended up memorizing the whole thing. Wow. Because my work ethic is that of my parents' crazy work ethic. And I'm going to get into this with you guys. I'm still old school, where I don't really enjoy going to see a band and the guitar player or the singer or the bass player has an iPad or something on their mic stand. And instead of looking at the crowd and engaging, putting on some kind of a show, they're staring at their charts, and I'm not saying, I'm never going to say never, but I don't even own an iPad. And if I have to have any kind of cheat sheets, I still have the song memorized, and I'll have it on the floor, and I'll just look down, but I will not sit there unless it's a wedding band, which I never had to do yet. Thank goodness. You never know. Again, never say never. Money is money. But I try to, when someone asks me to learn their stuff, or these tribute bands, the work for me is a lot harder, because I sit weeks, sometimes it's weeks before a gig. I have the song list and I go in, and it takes me, my ass hurts. I'm sitting there for hours and hours getting these songs in my body. And then the next day I'm doing it again, because you can't memorize a song in one day. I'm just, sometimes they're easy. I mean, there's a couple of Springsteen songs like I'm Going Down, like they're like the four chords of the whole damn song. So I'm like, all right, I got away with this one. But something like Thunder Road, it takes a while to get all those changes right. And then again, I'm listening to Gary Talent and I want to get his stuff right. And then I mix a little of me in with that. But the good thing about learning that way is I can now pull out Bill Wyman. I have Bill Wyman, I have Gary Talent, I have these guys in my back pocket. So when somebody writes a song, like Willie's if he writes a song that's in the Stones vein, I could pretty much know what Bill Wyman would do. You know what I mean? Or what Gary Talent would do if it's in a Springsteen vein. Then I could make choices. Do I want to go there? Or do I want to write my own? Or do I want to mix it in? That kind of thing. And if you listen to a couple of Willie songs, there was a Stonesy one, Accept Change, there's one. And the singer of the Saints in the City, well, the old singer, he's now the singer of B Street because the singer of B Street died, and he took over as singer. Glenn, yeah. I never got to meet him, unfortunately. I hear great things about him. I remember when that album came out, he learned my bass line, and he's sending me videos of him in his garage playing the Accept Change bass line. And he goes, this is great, but I really kind of took a lot of that bass line from Bill Wyman, but not exact. I just took, the idea of what I think Bill Wyman would have done. And there's other Willie songs like that too. You're a product of what you listen to. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And from there, me and Mike Buffer up the street, we were in bands together. I was really our first band. Not only, there's another rare thing, not only my first instrument was bass, but my first band was an original band. Most of the times your first bands are covers, and you do that for years until you find something to do original music. We had this guy, Blaze Del Bianco, Mike's brother's band, who he said, I got some originals for you guys here. You can write your own, parts to them. They were, 4 or 5 years older than us. And when you're 13 years old, that's a big difference, right? So, so my first band was an original band. It was very rare that I did any covers. So when years went by and somebody's like, oh, you know that Allman Brothers tune? I'm like, no, I never learned covers. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, the covers thing is still fairly new to me. And I didn't start playing with my first, the Blushing Brides tribute, 2005, they asked me. So I've been with them 20 years. And then the other tributes just a couple of years ago when with Willie, we would have like 100 gigs a year. That kind of went down a bit. So I'm able to say yes when Williams Honor asks me to play with them, or if Jake Thistle or any of these other bands. So I've been dedicating myself to that instrument. It's like a third arm to me. I eat, sleep, and drink bass lines, and how drum parts and how they intertwine. And see, I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. I'm knocking the earplugs out. So so that's just been my life. Yeah, I mean, I also worked. I work regular jobs too through the years because I'm just trying to make money and survive. I was touring with my old band Crispy Brown with this guy Mike Buffer. We were doing a kind of funk, punk, rock kind of stuff. And while we were doing that at Rockaway Studios, there was a guy working there, Mark Newman, and he had recorded with Marky Ramone. The Ramones were still, they were still a band, but they were retiring soon, And he said, he was a guitar player of a hardcore band called Sheer Terror. And he said, I've toured, I don't want to tour anymore. I want to introduce you to Marky. I think he'd like you. So I met Marky Ramone. So in 1996, I joined Marky Ramone and the Intruders. When the Ramones retired, we kept going, and it was an original band. Now he's doing Ramones covers. It's called Marky Ramone's Blitzkrieg. So for 4 years, I toured everywhere but I was going to say Asia, but we did tour Russia in the year 2000 for 10 days. Yeah. So Russia's part of Asia. So we did everywhere. I was in South America every year for a month at a time. And I was writing with him, and we recorded a second record. Joan Jett's on that record. Lars from Rancid produced it. It's called The Answer to Your Problems. And I was actually starting to write for a third record, but he disbanded it at that point. We went through different personnel changes or whatever, but when he disbanded, it was at that same time I met Jesse Malin. So those bands kind of overlapped in 2000, and Jesse Malin was called, I joined, it was called Sing Sing, TSING. And shortly after that, a couple of months, we went to LA. There was a TV show that had Sing Sing posters and Degeneration posters with Katie Seagal. I remember we did that, and that was a cool little tour of the studio, and we played gigs out there. But then he decided to change the name to Bellevue. And as Bellevue, we recorded a record, and it had Heartbreaker, cover of Heartbreaker by the Stones on it. But I think something went wrong with the record company asking permission or whatever, so he had to take that song off. So there's actually two versions of Bellevue records out there. And then after a year of that, we toured across the country. He said, I want to record, I want Ryan Adams to produce it, and I want to keep you on as a bass player. And we then recorded The Fine Art of Self-Destruction. And years after that, The Heat. So I was on two of Jesse's albums for 5 years. I was with him until 2005. Somewhere in 2004, Ryan Adams liked what Jesse's band did with Jesse. So he borrowed Jesse's band. So I'm on a couple of Ryan Adams records too. The Love is Hell Part 1 and 2 and the Rock and Roll records. I'm on like 4 songs each, 2 songs off the Rock and Roll record. And just started branching out after 2005. Then I just wanted to try and play bass for a living. So I just joined a bunch of bands. And from then until now, I've been navigating things. In 2006, I got really lucky. Willie Nile went to Jesse Malin and said, I'm looking for a bass player. And Jesse said, Willie says it too, without skipping a beat, Jesse goes, hold on, he was at his bar, gets a pen, napkin, this is your guy. And it was me. So Willie called me, and I have an interesting story about that too. Willie calls me and says, I need a bass player. We're going to open up for the Goo Goo Dolls and the Counting Crows at the PNC Arts Center in a couple of months. I'm like, hell yeah, this is amazing. So I said, I did a benefit for Katrina like a year before that or whatever, somewhere in there. And I saw you play. I thought you were great. We never got to meet that night. But that night I actually played in the first band, Johnny Lives, with a drummer named John Weber, who plays with Willie now. And the last act of the night at Irving Plaza was Deborah Harry. Wow. So I got to back up Deborah Harry. Thank you, Jesse, again. He's hooked me up with so many great Jesse. If it wasn't for Jesse, I don't know where I'd be. He literally, if it wasn't for him, he kind of, whatever I'm doing, I can blame him. Thank him or blame him, depending on the day. Jesse really did everything for me because he hooked me up with certain people. Marky Ramone got me street cred, obviously. But after Marky Ramone was done, it wasn't like I'm not the type of guy to go drinking at bars, and I'm really bad at schmoozing. I dropped a few names in this interview. It hurts my stomach to do that. I'm not a name dropper. But because it's an interview, whatever, I kind of leave the name dropping to, I have a website, Facebook, whatever. But it feels icky to me to do. But Jesse hooked me up with some really great people. So I always really thank him for that. And we still have dinner, maybe once a month or something. And we chat about everything in life and everything that's going on with him. And he, in his condition, which is unimaginable that he is getting through this the way he is and making small bits of progress. I have the Sweet Relief thing pinned to the top of my Facebook page.
Mm.
We could always donate to him. It's very expensive what he's doing. He's gone to Argentina like 3 times for stem cell treatments, and he's gotten a little bit of progress. And him and his determination alone. So that's how that happened. It went so now here I am with this on the phone with this Willie guy, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. So Kira Caverno, photographer, she said, listen, I'm putting on this other Katrina benefit, and it's going to be at this club called Southpaw in, I think it's in Park Slope. We're going to have all these bands. Would you want to volunteer your time to get bands on and off stage? And I said, yeah. She says, because every band only gets like 10 minutes. It's like, 2 songs, 3 songs, you're out. I really need someone to, I said, cool, I'll do it. And Willie Nile was one of the bands. And this is before, like I said, I'm supposed to play with him opening up for the Goo Goo Dolls 2 months from now, but this is going to be a lot sooner. So we're at the venue. Willie shows up with Jimmy Vivino and Rich Pagano on drums. And his bass player, Brad Albetta, who started playing with Martha Wainwright and stuff like that, which is why I kind of took over for Brad at some point. We're waiting for Brad. And I'm like, hey, Willie, great to meet you guys. I'm getting bands on and off stage. You're going on in a half hour. And he's like, oh, okay, my bass player's not here yet. And I said, it's all right. We got some time. Well, it's getting closer. Hey, Willie, you're on in like 15 minutes. And he's like, I don't know what to do. My bass player's, Willie gets frantic. And I said, well, I already did start learning those songs you sent me. It was Hard Times in America, House of 1,000 Guitars, and there was one more. I can't remember what the other one was. It might have been One Guitar. I don't know if that was ready yet. And he goes, really? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't have my bass here. So I borrowed one of the other guys' basses from the other band. It was a piece of shit, but I got through it. I'm like, God damn, I don't know how people play certain instruments. But I get on stage, and Vivino and Pagano are looking like, this guy's going to ruin who is this guy? This is going to sound terrible. But luckily, because of my work ethic, I wanted to get on those songs early. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I am patting myself on the back. I murdered it. I killed it. And I was doing the bass line from the record. It's a killer bass line from, what's his name? Stanley, who wrote it, friend of ours that was in Willie's band years ago, Brian Stanley. And then there's a microphone there. So now I'm like, I got this. I'm locking in with Rich. I'm like, this is fucking Jimmy Vivino's here. This is great. I start singing backups. Now they're really looking like, who is this guy? So it was like a weird way. There was no audition, but if there was an audition, I guess I passed the audition. So Brad Albetta showed up at the wrong venue. He went to Williamsburg and showed up at the wrong venue.
Oh, no.
So that's how that happened. So it's a crazy story I thought I wanted to share with you guys.
Wow.
And since 2006, we're 19 and a half years now, Brothers in Arms, I've been with Willie all this time. With some other bands in between and recording sessions and whatever, but he is the closest thing to me. Him and Jesse are like the closest thing to me when somebody says, hey, that guy's the real deal. Lee Boyce, the guitar player I play with in 2 of the bands, Willie Nile's the real deal, and it's hard to say. So what does that mean, the real deal? You go on tour, you tell the same stories every night. What is that still real? But I look over at Willie, and every night, even if it's the same story, I look at him, and it's from his heart. He believes what he's saying. When he said, one of the things he says, it's really cool. He said, if there was a cul-de-sac, right? And you had this hardcore Republican dude living in one house, right? And this hardcore Democrat living in another, like Nancy Pelosi and, I don't know, Keith Olbermann or somebody, right? But a little kid outside crashes his bike and he's in pain, screaming, holding his leg. Willie says, I'd like to believe that both of them would run out to help this little boy, to help this little kid. And thinking about that and just taking that example and spread it out. And I believe that he believes it. And I like to believe that too. And I have the honor of backing him up. Because 13-year-old me, once I started learning all these crazy bass lines and I'm trying to pick up, Bob Marley bass lines and Rush, I'm like I was a King Crimson head for a while. But at the end of the day, I discovered punk rock, where it had nothing to do with being a musician. It had to do with having a platform, having something to say. These bands like Reagan Youth and like the Dickies, and I'm looking up lyrics like, what does this mean? What are they? Corporate Death Burger, Ronald McDonald. What does that mean? Oh, they're burning down the rainforest. What is that? Like, you start learning these songs. I was terrible in school. These songs became my school teachers. So I was like learning that you could have a platform to say what you have to say. And the music is really simple. There was nothing for me to really learn about that music except playing with a pick, which I still don't. I play with these 3 fingers. But from that, there was Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil. There was Bob Dylan. That the music may not sound like punk, but it's still a punk rock attitude. And so many bands, I became Bono was like my hero when I was a teenager because of the songs and the messages. So I feel 13-year-old me got his wish because I got to back up Jesse Malin and Willie Nile. Wow. Because that's what they're about. So, I try to have my low expectations. Like I still want to play the Garden, but I feel like I got what I asked for. I'm making a living playing music, and I got to back up these guys with a message. And I think that's beautiful.
Speaking of other jobs, Johnny, you were in an episode of The Sopranos, right?
Oh yeah, so I do. Yeah, so I'm a hustler. Other than playing with all these bands, I am a bit of a hustler. So the long story of that is because I think I'm telling long stories tonight. Back in 2005, after Jesse Malin, I had a friend of mine help me answer these Craigslist ads, right? And there was a band called Musicians Sans Frontiers. It's like Musicians Without Borders. And I got in this band. We toured Hungary, Romania. It was like Austria, Germany kind of thing. And it was really cool, exciting, really weird music. And there's a violin player. Her name is Susan Mitchell, who's in the band. And she says, I'm an extra in films. I'm like, oh, that's cool. She goes, I could get you in a film. Do you have an upright bass? I said, actually, my mother, sitting next to someone at her job, had an upright bass in their attic, gave it to me. So I own an upright bass. Yeah. She goes, well, you don't have to really play. You just show up, and just bow and just, pretend. You just got to look like, and you have the hands for it. Just look like you're playing. So my first job in the end of 2006 at the Metropolitan Opera House, the most prestigious place to play in the world. I'm in the pit in an orchestra, fake playing. And it was a movie called Margaret. I never saw the movie. Who knows if I'm even in it? A blur in the background. But then a couple of months later, I got a call. There was another movie with Bruce Willis, Heidi Klum, The Perfect Stranger. And I was asked to go in a studio and actually record a Hot Chocolate song on electric bass and My Funny Valentine on upright. And then while we were in the studio recording, someone from the film was there, and they said, there's a scene with the band. Do you guys want to be in the movie? I'm like, yeah, I just did this, last month, fake playing. And they said, well, you'll be fake playing to your own recordings because that's what you're doing here. So I wound up doing it again. And from then, I got my SAG card in the middle of 2007. And Susan Mitchell said, you don't always have to do it with the bass. You could do it with a briefcase and a suit. You could be a lawyer on Law and Order. Or you could, you could be a homeless guy with all the, they dress you up and they put makeup on, whatever. An extra is an extra. And I'm like, it is a good way to make money when you're not playing music. And a couple of years after that, I got the Sopranos one. I got the Sopranos gig. I was there for 4 days. We didn't start filming this scene until the 4th day. We were just hanging out, collecting money. They were using my car in the parking lot, parked the parking lot of the Bada Bing, which is where we filmed. And if you go to whenever, so Gandolfini wasn't in this scene, but he was on set. And whenever he was on set, there was a sushi boat the size of, it was like 15 feet long sushi boat for the crew, for the extras, for anyone. And that was out of his pocket. I've heard so many great things about Gandolfini. He was such an amazing man, and it's such a horrible loss. There's something called a stand-in. A stand-in is someone that does the blocking. What blocking is, for those who don't know, you're pretty much a cardboard cutout that moves on its own. So the actor goes and he rehearses his scene, and then he walks away to his trailer, maybe studies his lines, gets makeup done, hair, whatever. The stand-in has to do what that actor did. I've done it a bunch of times. Gandolfini's stand-in was as big as him. So years went by, this guy decided to lose 100 pounds. So now he's skinny. So he was at threat of losing his job because he's like, you got to steady work as Gandolfini's stand-in on The Sopranos, right? And Gandolfini stepped up and said, no, I don't care how much weight he lost. He stays my stand-in.
Wow.
And that's one of the examples of what he did. There was another film I worked with him on, Not Fade Away, like the Buddy Holly song, and he was in it. David Chase's film after The Sopranos. It was a movie. It didn't get much play, but whatever. Extras were outside, and I was standing in for John Magaro, who played a young David Chase in this film. So I was working a lot, and it was cold outside. It was February, and there was between scenes, and some of the people are older, and PA's talking to Gandolfini saying, hey, we're going to do this. And he goes, oh, hold on a second. What are those people doing outside? I can't do his voice, but you know how he sounds, right? And they said, well, they're extras. They're going to pass as the camera goes, yeah. Get them inside. Let them warm up. And when you're ready, you call them back. He was looking out for anybody. And you know the story. His crew, HBO did a recontract. I don't know if you guys know the story. And they paid him more than them. And he said, you know what? If you want me on this show, you're going to pay us all equally. And he got that. There's so many stories like that of this man. Anyway, so parking lot of the Bada Bing. If you go and watch, not the very, very last episode of The Sopranos, but the second to last episode of The Sopranos, everybody knows the scene. Little Steven, Silvio, gets shot in the parking lot of the Bada Bing. While he's getting shot, the gunshots, so the patrons and the strippers come running out. So I'm one of the patrons running with the strippers to see what's going on. And if you pause it, I have it on my phone. Like if you blink, you miss it. I'm like running with the strippers, and it's whatever. So there's another story behind that. But and then what happens is after he gets shot, the people that shoot him rush out, and there's an accident with a motorcycle. And someone runs over the motorcycle driver that gets thrown off the motorcycle, and the guy gets run over. And then they show the crowd's reaction, and you see me really clearly for a second. And I didn't know when it happened if I'd be on the editing room floor. Who knows? I don't tell anybody anything. But when that happened, my phone blew up because you could see me perfect. You could really see me, and it was like a quick thing. So yeah, that's my Sopranos story. It was February, again, when they were filming that. And they had these girls come out, and we're standing there, and they're naked. I mean, they're just wearing a G-string. And, it takes time between takes. So now there's you'll see how many people there. There's all these guys around and these 2 naked girls. So I'm looking like, I swear to you, I'm a gentleman. I could look really quick, and that's it. I got a visual. I don't need to stare. I didn't want to make them feel uncomfortable, but all these guys are looking, and this one guy had to open his stupid mouth because she's goose pimples from toes to head, right? And I hear him go, "Ooh, it's cold out here, huh?" I'm like, "You idiot." I'm like, "Why do you have to make the entire male race look bad? Why?" Right? The entire male race. You're representing us. Shut up, you know. So anyway, I'm standing there, not saying anything. I'm not gonna look. Well, she's standing like right next to me, and she wants to get warm. So guess what she does? Jumps up and down. I'm like, oh my god. So I had to look. So I looked, and she had the
No.
fake ones. Like she didn't spend a lot of money, I guess. So they were like really hard. So it looked like this when she was jumping. There was no balance. There was no movement. So there you go. And
Wow.
so I looked away really quick. I'm like, okay. And that is my soprano story. There you go.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So they
I
were
am
saying,
now
so
I am
we have
now canceled from the planet.
so we have some comments here that, since you're recording a new album, and
Yeah.
maybe one of the songs from Mary Jones was saying, "Running with the Strippers" should be one. Would be
All right, Mary, I will get to work on that right away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny,
But yeah,
if you don't mind going back earlier, you said about your parents and their work ethic, and I just had a couple of questions. If you don't mind sharing like what
please.
your parents did.
I'm already talking
And
too much. Go ahead.
No, you're never talking too much.
No. You're getting all kinds of positive comments here. People are loving your
Okay.
stories, so you're not talking
Okay.
too long. Your stories
All right.
aren't too long.
Fine.
But I just want to ask about your parents. What they
Yep.
did and how they felt about you as you became a musician. Because I'm not kidding you. Like almost everybody that we've had on here. I mean, we all know the Bruce story and turn down the guitar, like that whole thing. That's a saga.
Yeah.
But almost everybody that we've had on here, their parents were very uh, helpful with them. Not one of them has said, "Oh, my parents told me not to do
Right.
that." So, just if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, okay. Well, I saved up some money, and my very first bass was a copy Fender. It's called a Cameo, and the shop, who now doesn't exist anymore, Bath Music. I bought my very first bass from them, and I brought it home, and only people ask me like, well, where did you get your, whatever you want to call it from? And I said, well, nobody in my family is musicians except for my father's younger sister. She was a keyboard player in some metal band in the neighborhood. And so then I find out my grandmother was an opera singer. So maybe I got it from them, or I don't know. Maybe it just came, however, from just working really hard and learning how to play an instrument. My grandmother was, she had made one of those albums that if you drop it, they break, not vinyl, whatever it's made of.
Acetate.
And yeah. And I remember the story is my grandfather said, I don't like you hanging out in those clubs. This is, what year is this? 1930, whatever, right? 19, no, it had to be in the 40s, I guess. So she had to make a choice. Do I marry this man or do I continue with my music career? She gave up her music career because of his old school mentality, which I guess is a good thing because here I am, right? Somebody was born to have me. Same name as me, John Pisano. That was his name. It was eerie visiting his grave and seeing my name on there. But and my aunt died, unfortunately, got a horrible car accident. So I think what happened was my father had said, yeah, hey, my kid, yeah, he's starting to play that bass. He's always making noise. My mother being so supportive, it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and my sister is 8 years older than me. We had bunk beds. She wants her own room. So my father cut the living room in half. So I had a bedroom, but I had this 115 speaker with an old Sun head. And they let me up to like 11 o'clock at night. They let me play, and I would play for hours. Could you imagine how annoying that is as a parent?
Oh, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And I don't play good because I'm just learning. She was so supportive just to let me work out nothing, basically scales and sounds that were not good, or rewind, play, boom, 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 rewind, play, boom, 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 like that kind of thing. So in that respect, she was incredibly supportive. And my father, who lived three blocks away, they got separated. He just made a comment like, yeah, give him 6 months. It's a phase. Give him about 6 months on that thing. Well, it's 40 some odd years later, and I'm still doing it. And Mike Buffer, and I proudly say Mike Buffer, the guy I learned to play with and, friends, and we're still tight. He went on to be a tech, and he's always on the road with Maroon 5 these days. So we both did something since we were kids, which is I'm very proud of him, because he does things. I mean, he's been he teched for everyone, Peter Frampton, Alanis Morissette, like everyone. He's been on the road with everyone, and for the past bunch of years, he's been making really good money with Maroon 5, going to weird places, giving me crazy stories. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, you talked about your parents' work ethic, and I was just curious, what they did for a living.
Well, my when I was a kid, my mother she'd work 2-3 jobs. She'd do anything just to get income, and my father was an oil burner mechanic, and I remember we'd be kids. He'd have 103 fever, and my mother'd be like, whatever, and he's like, nope, I'm going to work. Nothing stopped this man from going to work. His work ethic was, he would wake up 7 a.m., no alarm, and I think I pretty much got it from him. I think I got it from both of them, where it's ingrained in me that if you want to be good at anything, you need to work at it. And there are plenty of people that just, I envy them, where they have photogenic memories. I don't know how they do it. They don't have to work. Maybe they don't have to work as hard as me, and they have this incredible talent. And for the most part, I could follow along, whatever. I could hold my own in a jam situation. If I don't know the song, I could watch somebody's hands or just do by ear really quick. But well, looking at my own music, or if someone hires me to play their stuff, I put in the work. I show up on time. I show up knowing the song's better than them, possibly. I'm ready to sing background vocals for them, and I'm not an asshole. There's the 3 tricks in life. Show up on time, hit your mark, and don't be an asshole. If you could pull off those 3 things, they might just call you again. And that's what happens. The phone somebody said, you're a drug dealer. I said, what do you mean I'm a drug dealer? Alex Alexander said, Willie's old drummer, who also played on my new 2 songs on my new stuff, with John Weber playing on the other stuff. He said, you're a drug dealer because you show up and you give them way more than they were expecting. And now you got them. Now they can't play without you, because they know anybody else they call is not going to have put in the work you put in. It's going to be, anybody else is going to be here when I'm here. And it's got nothing to do with how good you are. To me, you could be the best musician in the world. If you don't know the song, you don't know the song, whatever it is, So I do my homework, and I think that's where I'm at. And then, like I said, that's probably where the work ethic came from, where I had this man who would go to work sick, go to work no matter what. There was never not going to work. It was all about the work,
That's great. So our friend Mary Jones, people can see this Johnny jumping over Willie's head, doing the splits. Our friend Mary Jones.
Well, you see who the other guy is next to you, right?
Yep.
That's Bruce.
That's Bruce. Willie.
Yeah. So I like that picture because I don't know if he saw me do it, but I jumped behind him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Mary asked 2 questions. A, what kind of exercise routine warm-ups do you do? And B, how do you stay in the rhythm and pattern while jumping around like you do?
Well, from the old punk days, you count to 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's kind of a count, and you want to call it ballet. I don't care what you call it, but it's, if Willie counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So on the 4, I leap. So I have to land on the 1. Otherwise, it looks weird. So I kind of that's how I do that. As I get older, I am a little worried I'm going to pull my groin or something doing this, because now it's like there's certain shows I could get away with not jumping, especially with these other bands I'm playing with. But at a Willie show, they know when I'm going to do it. The beginning of House 1,000 Guitars, the middle of One Guitar, like they know when I'm going to do it. And like, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not going to do it tonight. And I look up and I see this. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, I guess I got to do it. I don't want to disappoint these people. Like, you know, I see like 5 of them, 10 of them, you know, they want to get it. So I'm like, all right. So I do try to stretch my hamstrings and I do whatever backstage. I mean, it's good to stretch anyway. I'll give Willie secrets away. He does jumping jacks before we go on. Like he tries to get his blood flowing. I mean, that guy's 77 and I got to keep up with him, you know, and it's not always easy. We think we're done and like, oh, cool, we're done, you know, and he's like, what's the song? I'm like, oh my God, how old are you again? He's like 77 going on 62. But yeah, so I do have to stretch. And there are times I've jumped and not stretched and took that risk. And maybe I threw my neck out or I did something. So I do have to make sure I stretch before I do it. So there's that answer. Yeah.
Gotcha. Rich on here says, you definitely do the homework, Johnny. It's no doubt a great pleasure playing by your side. I don't know who Rich is, but
oh, that must
some
be
props.
that must be the singer of Damn the Torpedoes, Rich Kubich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
Yep.
He has me. So this guy has me. We have a routine, and me and him, we never plan this out, and we do these bits between us, really funny stuff. So if anybody ever comes to see them, the Torpedoes, you'll see our stupid bits we have. And he has me. He introduces the band, and he says to me, he wants me to introduce him. So we do this, we make fun of each other and stuff. But then he said one day to me, "Do you want to sing Wildflowers?" And as a singer, for them to give up the reins, you know, for him to put his ego aside and let me do that, I give him props for that. And I love that song. So it was really a great pleasure. Once in a while live, I'll sing Wildflowers. I did that with Jeff Slate too. I had to learn because we do tributes to different people every couple of months. And we did a petty tribute and I sang Wildflowers. I sang Refugee. I sang Willie Nile's Blow It in the Wind. At a Dylan tribute. So I do get to sing once in a while and it's fun. I always think a lot of musicians want to be actors. A lot of actors want to be musicians. There's some bass players that want to be frontmen sometimes, you know? So like, that's why I started writing my own stuff. And you don't just to become a great frontman. I've had the honor to witness Willie and Jesse, great frontmen. I mean, Maurice Raymond from the Blushing Brides, he's one of the greatest frontmen I've had to back up. He just has the gift of gab, the way he just riffs. And but that doesn't mean I'll be a good frontman. But when I had to do it with my stuff, I think I did okay. I pre-planned a couple of things and riffed the rest. But it is a thing, and I'm really happy these guys let me sing lead once in a while. We did a Rolling Stone tribute thing Gail Hoffman put together at Barry Electric recently, and I sang Connections, Stone song. So it is kind of cool to step up once in a while, because as a bass player, we could just sit back, you know, and just watch everything go down. You know, we're always the coolest guys in the band, but I do get obviously when I have a little coffee like now, I do get a little hyper. I do.
You're on the cafe, so
yeah,
you're in the right place.
The caffeine. Yeah, the cafe. And I do tend to move around a bit live. And even the guys from Damn the Torpedoes, I'm like, you know, if I move around a little bit, maybe you guys want to move around a little more to meet me, but I don't want to be the dancing monkey while no one else is moving around, because stage etiquette. Stage etiquette is whoever's speaking, like now, there's a conversation, I'm talking, you guys are not. If the singer is singing, he's the one talking. Your eyes an audience member should be basically on the singer. If that's the one, the solo guy's doing a solo, you should be watching the solo, not somebody going, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. So I tend to move around with control. I screw up once in a while, whatever. Sometimes I run to the front and do stupid shit with the audience, but for the most part, like I understand stage etiquette. My ears are always on the kick drum to marry the kick drum and listening to the vocals because I harmonize with people. Like I'm still doing the job as much as I move around. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're a student of the case. You're a student of the trade. It's really good to hear like that. I never really, you know it, but to hear it, to how there is some stage etiquette,
There is.
and
There's a lot of tricks to the trade. I even years ago I started writing. I was going to write this book, Rock and Roll 101, like the do's and don'ts. It's do's and don'ts of starting a rock band. Maybe I'll start doing that again because I think there's certain people that don't know. Like if you're on tour, and you're trapped in a small van with people, you don't go eat Mexican food. You got how many hours to go? Right? It's common sense.
this
You're
is
gonna
book.
you're gonna fart in the van and you're gonna stink the van up. And if you do happen to fart in the van, only open your window because that's how suction works. When everybody opens their windows, it then permeates everywhere. That should go in the book. You see, these are really important things.
I wouldn't have known that if you didn't say that. This book needs to come out.
This is important information. Yes. Or like stage etiquette, more stage etiquette. Ryan's laughing. So like if the sound man is on stage and like a little kid, you're just making noise. Sound man is on stage, be aware where he is. If he's bending down, putting a microphone in front of your speaker, don't play. I know it sounds like something you think is obvious. People will just go, and the guy's like, you don't want to piss off the sound man, and you just don't want to do that in general. Just don't do it. So like all these little tidbits I was going to put in a book, like a Musicians for Dummies kind of book. And then my idea was the second half of the book was going to be me interviewing people like Jesse Malin telling road stories, horrible. The van broke down and, this guy got this girl pregnant and, like this crazy, insane road stories, that I know people would be interested in. Who knows? I might do that again one day.
Do it. That sounds great.
It could be a fun, farting in the van, chapter 2.
I wish I would have known this years ago.
Thanks,
Johnny, John Borden is asking your 3 top Willie songs to play.
John Borden, he's an amazing human being. He lives in Buffalo. I know him well. And his beautiful wife, his friend Bob, they've been coming to shows for a long time. Even though I didn't write the bass line, Brian Stanley, again, we'll go back around. The lyrical content to Hard Times in America and the bass line that Brian Stanley wrote, Hard Times in America. It's a killer bass line as a bass player. And obviously, lyrically, the 13-year-old me thanks Willie because we got something to say, and the way Willie writes, he's not saying what side, how everybody's so divided right now. It's horrible. He won't be specific about what he is. We don't want to lose half our fans, basically. I don't want anybody, the way things are now, with the division, the way things are, I refuse to unfriend any of my, whatever you want to call, Trumpers, MAGAs, whatever. I am not unfriending them. They're not unfriending me. I don't post stuff. I don't post political stuff. I don't, if we succeed in unfriending each other, that is part of the division that whoever they are, the them, they're trying to divide us. I won't let it happen. And Willie is on the same page. We're on the same page. We want everybody to be in the same room. And at a Willie show, they are. At a Bruce show, they are. We're all in the same room and everybody's getting along. No one's talking bullshit and it's great. Hard Times in America, number 1, because of those reasons. I got to be a little selfish and a song that I wrote bass line for that I'm proud of. On the new record, there's a song called Fall on Me. It's very Stonesy. And the bass line I wrote for that, again, going around the bush here, I was thinking, well, what would Bill Wyman do? But what do I want to do? And I came up with this in the third verse. I climb up again, climb. I go all the way to the top before it goes to the chorus. And I came up with that idea, and I just had to say, when I get in the studio, are these guys going to let me do it? Because some of the ideas I come up with bass ideas, musical ideas that are non-conventional. Everything sounds so similar. I was really proud of that, and the producer loved it. Stuart Lerman, he produced music for all the Martin Scorsese films. He has a Jeremy story. Jeremy was in the studio singing Bruce songs for that movie that came out. Got stories about that. Anyway, so Fall on Me is another one. I really enjoy House of a Thousand Guitars because of some crazy stuff I do in that one. But I don't know, 3. I would say.
You said 3. House of a Thousand Guitars, Fall on
Yeah,
Me.
but
Sorry.
I think it might be Sweet Jane
Ooh.
because of
Great song.
what happened with Sweet Jane. Yeah, we covered it. And there's so many covers of that song. Lou Reed did a bunch of covers, different versions of. When Alex Alexander was in the band, we wanted to make it danceable. So I came up with that bass riff. And with his drumming, we made it danceable. And then they piled the layers on top of our foundation. So I'm really proud of the bass line I came up with for that. And I enjoy playing it because it's a different rhythm. It's more danceable. In a Willie show where, everything's kind of linear, when we have some different, like we do a shuffle or we do something, it's kind of anything to just switch up the rhythm. So I really, I think I enjoy those 3. Those are my top 3, I would say. But there's so many more that I love. Yeah.
Tell you what, when we interviewed Willie, I did a deep dive on his catalog, and I went back
Yeah.
and listened to a lot of stuff for a couple weeks before, just leading up to it. Like, I'm not blowing smoke. I told him this. The last 15 years of his career, 15 incredible years. Like, he's had 6, 7 incredible
Yeah.
albums. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
He really has. Yeah. And I'm proud to say I was with him those 15. Yeah. I've been with him 19 and a half. So it's been great.
I'm sorry. Who is some of your the bassists that you like growing up? I'm just curious if we have the same,
Well, lots of people would right away think it's McCartney, and for a while it wasn't because I was a rebellious little idiot and into punk rock. I'm like, screw the Beatles. Everybody likes. Oh, that 13-year-old kid likes the Beatles. Well, I can't like them anymore. Oh, you wear like a U2 pin until you see so. Oh, you're wearing that pin. You ruined my band. Like it was just a mentality we had. But well, Paul McCartney has these amazing, beautiful melodic lines, and you have the bass player, the Elvis Costello, the Attractions, incredible. And then you got guys like Billy Sheehan that are just like fly all over the neck. But there's one guy that could mess you up with one note. And to me, he is the Buddha. Here's your Buddha. He is the Buddha of bass, and his name is Tony Levin. He played with King Crimson, but he also plays with Peter Gabriel. And there have been songs where he's like just jamming, like he's just doing one note. And I'm like, oh, I want to learn that. And I'm like, why am I have a hard time learning this one note? Because it's not what he does, it's when. He leaves these breaths, these holes, and he comes up with these incredible bass lines that are just off the wall. So he is, to me, he's top.
Yeah.
Then under that, you'll have your McCartneys and all the other. I mean, well, what's his name? Joe Jackson's bass player, Graham Maybe. He was a hero of mine growing up, and I almost got to meet him to tell him that. I actually told him that. I found him over Facebook Messenger, and then it turns out I said, I played with this guy Willie Nile, but I just wanted you to know I'm a fan of yours. He responded with, "I know Willie." I'm like, God damn it! So yeah. So one day I get to shake his hand, but I really love Graham Maybe.
I saw you play with on the Remember Jones. Me and Jules, we went to see you play on the Who's.
Tommy.
Yeah, it was
Tommy.
Tommy.
Oh yeah.
Tommy.
So so my favorite bassist is John Entwistle from.
Woo! Hell yeah!
So, and he's always been my top, and but I mean, that was an incredible show, and it's one of my favorite albums, Tommy, and whatever.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you guys, I mean, I was watching actually, and you actually sing. Didn't you sing?
I also played the doctor, the
The Doctor,
opposite
right? Yeah,
role.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Right.
sang Through the Mirror. Is that the name of
Yeah,
it? Go through the, yeah.
yeah.
And that's all Anthony. Anthony D'Amato, Remember Jones. He is incredible when he puts these shows together. He's not messing around. We even had choreography. I'm like, what do you want me to move where when I'm playing? Like, I'm not used to that. So he's like, we'll break you in, So it was that show. We were all on different platforms, if you remember, with the TVs underneath,
Yeah.
and learning Entwistle's bass lines were just incredible.
Yeah.
And
I was
just
watching it,
beautiful.
and actually, and I'm a big fan of his. So like, I was really in awe watching
Yeah.
you and everybody play those. Everyone was fantastic on that show.
Amazing. There were 17 of us on stage, I
Yeah, it
think.
was incredible.
It was
So,
really
Joe Balia on the drums. They started at it was like 8 or 10 feet, and that was just his feet. So he was way up in the air. His drum kit was just wild. Violins and violas and horns and 4 background singers. Anthony does not mess around when he puts on a show.
We had Anthony
Yeah.
on 2 weeks ago, and he said
Yeah.
he's working on doing Mad Dogs and Englishmen, but
Yeah,
he's also
right.
doing the Stevie Wonder songs in the key of life. But
Right.
he talked about that, like, he's at a point now where it's almost like he does everything: wardrobe,
Mhm.
choreography,
Yep.
the arranging. Like, he's doing it all, and he's singing and doing
Yeah.
everything else he does. He's like, I kind of think I need somebody to help me do this stuff
Yep.
because he can only do so much.
Absolutely. I just had the same conversation with him at Light of Day. He's like, I need somebody to do something. He said, I don't even care if I sing anymore. I'd be better off producing. And I said, no, hold up. You need to keep singing.
Oh,
You have an
absolutely.
amazing voice. Don't, he's like, no, I'll sing. But he's like, sometimes the singing gets in the way because he's doing all these other things. So he does need help. Yeah.
And it's
I love
amazing.
that man.
He showed up. He has what did he have? He had surgery. He shows up that
Yeah.
day,
Right.
and he still did. He still did his
Light
little
of Day.
Richard stuff, and
Yeah.
even though he should not have been there, he was not in
Right.
good health. He still gave it 1,000%.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's amazing.
This guy,
I mean,
Rich,
I am or him.
Rich Kubich, he's I hope he's saying your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not.
He is. You actually did.
Okay.
You got it right.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
I know him. Yeah.
Okay, got very bad. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. But he was saying that you're talking about your excellent bass playing, but he says you're an incredible singer with a great voice and a harmony guru.
Wow. Well, I don't know about all that. I think I could use work on the harmonies. When I hit them, I'm hitting them. But there are talk about harmony gurus. Derek Cruz from Jesse's band. When you're like a keyboard player and you have all those voicings, he could pick a harmony. There's the first, the thirds, the sixths. He's amazing. Yeah. I need to work on if I'm going to go low. But if I have to go high, I happen to have a high voice. I get the high harmonies pretty easily, and you have to hit it right in pitch with the singer. Even if the singer's a little flat, there are times I'm singing with Willie, and if Willie's a little flat, you can't think, oh, well, I'm going to be, no, you have to go with them. You know what I mean? So there's a little tricks, again, I'll save it for the book. Some tricks to the trade there.
Right, yeah.
A little more tricks. Yeah.
Any highlights
yeah.
for you for this past Light of Day?
A lot of people are saying it's the best one of their favorites. I don't know. They were all so great. If anytime Bruce shows up and is giving of his time, that always brings it up a bunch of notches, but it also brings up the security. Everybody's like, oh, you can't stand here. You can't stand here, whatever. Meanwhile, Bruce could care less. We're all hanging out anyway. And then there was a security guard, a really, really sweet guy. I just killed him with kindness. I'll just walk by. Yo, you can't stand there. I'm like, oh, no problem. I'm going downstairs. You want a coffee? Do you need a water? He's like, no, I'm okay. So right away, I get a rapport with him. I wanted to hang out with Bob Benjamin, who is, he this year did not look as good as he did in previous years, and we're all worried. We're all worried about him. For that, I wasn't happy with that. I got to hold his hand for a while and talk to him. Because I can't understand him when he's talking to me, especially with the music on and he, the way he speaks, he's doing the best he can. but for that was heart wrenching. Reagan Richards, when we were at the end, we all go on stage, right? And the security guard wasn't ready for that because Bruce is on stage and he's doing security and he never did it before. So now we're all rushing the stage and he's like, what? So somebody goes, no, this is what we do. It's okay. Right. So we're all surrounding Bruce. He's like, what do I got to do here? You know? So anyway, but then Reagan Richards came walking off the stage, and I know she won't mind me saying this. She had tears in her eyes, and I gave her a quick hug, and it was like, I know, I get it, because we don't know what's going to happen with Bob. We don't know when, we don't know how. We just know he's getting the best care he can get. But it is heart-wrenching to see that. But the highlights for me this year, like last year, I was asked to play with Williams Honor. This year, I was asked to play with Jake Thistle for the opening night Thursday at Asbury Lanes. So that was a big highlight for me because I love him and I love his music. I get to sing and play with him. And then Joe Durso's bass player could make it for Stone Pony when I played with Willie. But he couldn't make it for the Count Basie. So I filled in for him at the Count Basie. I played with Joe Durso and Willie. And the other highlight was they were celebrating, 5 decades of Willie.
Right.
So at the Stone Pony. So we played longer. We got to play longer than everyone else. It wasn't that much longer, but it was like, the 10, 15 minutes. And we got to really blow it out. And it was a lot of fun doing that with Willie, being that it was light of day, but it was kind of celebrating Willie the same. So that was a highlight. Yeah. And that was last year's highlight for me. I got to tell Bruce's story, because I normally, like, when Bruce is around, everybody's taking turns talking to him. I don't want to be that guy. Like, I don't talk to you at all. It's fine. I'm going to share a stage with you. I don't need to be, you know what I mean? I'm just not that person. But Stuart Lerman, our producer, I said earlier, we were recording this new record that we put out in June, the Willie record. And he goes, who was in here last week? That actor, Jeremy, what's his name? And I said, oh, yeah, they're doing that Bruce movie. He goes, yeah. The producer of the movie came in with Jeremy, and he had him in the studio, and he kept screaming at Jeremy, that's not how Bruce sings. You got to sing from your gut. Do it again. Do it again. So Jeremy's like screaming his guts out, recording these tracks. And at the end of the session, after 2 hours, Jeremy's laying on the floor with an ice pack on his head. So I see Bruce, and he was chatting with me and the guitar player from the Smithereens. And I said, hey, man, I got a story for you. So I got to tell Bruce that story. And he snickered, but something tells me he already knew it.
Right.
I think he already knew that story. I'm not sure, but he did chuckle. So I got a little chuckle out of him with that. Yeah. But it's wild. And then what I heard, again, things you hear you don't know are real. For the movie, they got the live tracks from like 1980, and they pulled Bruce's vocal out and they put Jeremy's vocal in. At least that was the plan. I don't know how it ended up at the end. I have no idea. Yeah.
Johnny, Stacy J was asking earlier. I think that was her name. She's gone now. She said your punk. Your first album was punk. She asked about, and you had talked about it a little bit earlier. But can you just talk about the songs and style of music you're going to be doing on the album?
Well, that's really nice of her to ask. There's a song I wrote many years ago, and it's just been sitting, on a shelf, so to speak, called "Suicide Watch." It's I don't want to say it's an anti-suicide song, of course. But we all go through hard times. When the pandemic happened, people were jumping off the vessel in Manhattan and bridges, and the news wasn't even covering it, a lot of it. And it's a friggin' suicide itself is its own disease. It's its own pandemic. And there's a song I wrote called "Suicide Watch." I performed it at Light of Day in 2017. 18, I think it was probably 2018. And so I recorded that. I'm still working on it. And that's the song Dave Steckert is going to do a video for. And I have it's been years. I lay awake at night in bed. I'm like at my phone and I'm putting in video ideas. I visualize the whole song in my head. I still have to get keyboards on it. I'm going to get Chiquita May to sing high, soulful background harmonies on it. Chiquita May was the Tina Turner in the
I
I
knew
know you
that
know who
name.
she
I
is.
knew
Yeah,
that
yeah.
name. I was like,
Remember
wait a
Joan?
minute.
She's down. So I still have work to do on it. And this guy was to do a video for it. So I'm really looking forward to that. There's another song. There's a couple called the Medlins, Karen Medlin and Steve Medlin. They're big, huge music supporters of the Night, the radio station, 90.5. They're big music supporters through the radio station and outside the radio station with people. And their daughter, her name is Taylor. She has a syndrome called Rett syndrome, RETT syndrome. And it's very rare. People mistake it for autism. And I met when me and Willie played their house as a duo. We did for his pledge campaign years ago. We got to meet Taylor, and we've all been close friends ever since. And that was like 2014 or something, 13. One day I was with Willie doing a duo tour in the UK, and it was Taylor was on my mind. I guess it might have been her birthday or something. So I started singing this chorus in my head, and I'm like, oh, I think that could be something. So I recorded in my phone, like people do, and I needed an idea. Like, well, I thought in my head, she can't talk. Neither can a lot of people, not just with Rett syndrome, with other syndromes. Like even Bob Benjamin has a hard time talking these days. So there's people with muscular dystrophy that can't walk. There's so many different people out there that can't communicate. Those with Down syndrome, nonverbal. I thought in my head, if Taylor could speak, what would she say?
Wow.
And it boom, boom, boom. It just came out fairly quick. The lyrics came out fairly quick. It's basically what would she say? You know, I could quote the lyrics to you, but I don't want to be cheesy. But I'm really looking forward to finish. That one's almost done. To finishing that one, and those two to me are going to be the highlights of whatever this thing I'm doing. I mean, I know people put out singles. You could put out 3 songs. I'd like to get a body of work together and maybe put out another 9 or 10. There's a song about getting high on there, but those two are like the serious ones. The other ones, there's a song called High Maintenance. It's about a girl who's high maintenance, and in the end, it's about a guy who's high maintenance. Different lyrics. There's a song I have called Box Full of Jam. I came up with this crazy idea, and it's about a schizophrenic prostitute. She has a box full of jam. You could imagine, give
Okay.
your own imagination with that one.
Okay.
But
And running with the strippers.
there it is, running with the strippers. But that's a kind of Stonesy one. So I'm really looking forward to finishing these songs with Anthony Kryzan, recording more, getting them all really done, mixed, mastered, getting videos done for maybe 1 or 2 of them, not releasing it to anyone, not let anyone see it until I'm ready. Meaning I might do something crazy like rent somewhere where there's a screen, like a stage where there's a backdrop, and maybe we'll have a screening of the video where no one has seen it until that night. People buy tickets. I do a Q&A. We talk about the video. We talk about the making of the video because the video is going to be involved. Again, I don't want to jinx it, but the plan is what it is. And then I'll have a band with me. We'll play some songs so that the show could be, showing the video for the first time and playing some tunes. That's kind of my plan for this record. I don't know if I could pull it off. I'm going to push like hell, and with my work ethic, I hope I can do it. I just need a good team around me, and sometimes because of work ethic, that's hard to find. Some people, like I said, I'll give someone, hey, you want to learn these 10 songs. We don't have to do it for 3 weeks. They'll wait until 3 days before the gig to even listen to them. Like, I don't understand that work mentality, but a lot of musicians, that's what they do. It's like cramming for a test. My dream would be to have a bunch of people kind of similar to my work ethic, where we're all rehearsing together. And you know who has that work ethic is Jesse Malin. He rehearses his band to death. And that's why when you listen to a Jesse Malin show, it sounds like a record. Everyone on that stage knows exactly what everyone else is playing so that they don't step on it. It's amazing. And I like that level of professionalism. and that level of rehearsing and work ethic. That's kind of, and it's hard to find. So John Weber, that drummer for Willie Nile, he has my work ethic. He might even be crazier than me with that. I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kristen
Yeah.
Dagan, I think.
Yeah,
She's asking Dagan, sorry. She's asked a couple times if there's any way that fans can support you at all. Any?
Yeah, at some point, I think I'm going to do not. I don't want to do the Kickstarter. It's like annoying to do. It's hard to do. I'd rather not, but I might pull some kind of trick, like just put it out there on the socials. Like if anybody wants to donate, I need money to record. I need money to do this video. I'm going to have to pay people. And I know Kristen well. She's another amazing human being. I have actually have plans to put her in my video. She doesn't know it. I guess she might know it now.
She might know it now.
But yeah, she's been great. I've become friends with her. She's been pretty awesome. So I appreciate her asking that question.
Well,
Yeah.
Johnny, if there's, I mean, obviously, my group and Julie's group, and we would love to be part of that process to help support you for sure. So
Yeah, thank you.
ready, and we're not just saying that, who we are and what we do. So we love you, and if there's when the time has come, you know how to get to me. Please reach out. Don't hesitate.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I know I'm speaking for a lot of spring nuts out there as well.
Yeah.
That they love you and what you've all the entertainment and enjoyment you've given them over the years. This is the way we can repay you. So please reach out.
Well, I know how great this community is, and I really, really appreciate that. And future me appreciates that for when I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
So for
there's going
anybody
to be
out there watching, you got a website. You're on obviously
I do.
Facebook, Insta.
Yep.
You're on all the socials. So just everybody, if you're not already, follow him, and
Yeah.
he will have more to come at some point in time.
Absolutely, you can personal message me. I'll eventually get to it because I have a lot of messages on there. But I'd love to try to answer everyone's message as well. Yeah.
So Johnny, I've got two questions for you on a much lighter note. I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Illinois. I live up by Chicago. So about 10 years ago, I started going out to the East Coast and Jersey a lot for a lot of different reasons. I stumbled into two things involving food. One, I won't really ask you since you're a New York guy. One is a pork roll Taylor ham, which is like a Jersey thing. Oh my God.
Okay.
People lose their mind.
I'm down. I'll check it.
Pork roll is the actual product. Taylor ham is the company. It's like Xerox, Kleenex, that type of thing. Oh my God. But it says a lot. Like as an outside observer, I've noticed a lot of stuff goes into this. It's like socioeconomic, where you live in the state. Like it's a whole different layer. So
listen, we're going there in April. You have to text me this if I need to go find this.
Okay.
All right.
So my question for you as Italian, sauce or gravy?
Gravy.
Seriously, people
I
like
answer
are
you fast
willing to
enough?
fight. People are willing to fight each other over sauce or gravy.
Did I answer you fast enough?
You did immediately.
Well, here's the deal. Here's what the real deal is. I mean, when I was a kid, my father would have this. He was a great cook. He 5 hours. So I think sauce turns into gravy when you put an entire pig's hoof would be in the damn thing all day, and then me and my sister would be my mother would be gnawing on it at the end of the night. Like that kind of thing. So I think when something sits all day for 5 hours and it gets thick, and the meatballs are not fried or not cooked at all before they're put into the sauce, they're packed really tight, and they're cooking all day. I think that's a gravy. If you're going to make something for a quick half hour, I think that's sauce. Obviously, what goes on pizza is sauce, even though there's a song, I wrote a song about pizza. It's called Pielicious Bitches. It's Pielicious Bitches. You get it? Anyway, it's Pielicious Bitches. So in the song, I wrote extra sauce. We call it gravy, whatever. I wrote that in the song just as an homage to what we're talking about. But yeah, I think it can be sauce, but
it's gravy.
You're going to cook it all day. It's gravy.
Okay. Yeah. Second part of this is favorite pizza or best pizza in Brooklyn. Best pizza.
But yeah, my favorite is Torpedoes. I love telling the story of this place. Place on Spring Street. my memory goes, the corner of Spring Street, near Mott Street. I can't remember the name of it right now. If one of you guys want to go. No. It's a pizza joint. So back when that place used to be a grocery store, we're talking over 120 years ago, right? 130 years ago was a grocery store. People would go in and buy their bread and their milk or whatever. So at some point, they had this guy come from Italy, and he said, I have something called pizza. No one knows what in the States, no one knows what it is. I want to build my oven, this brick oven in the back of your grocery store. I'll sell pizza from the back. That man's name was Tortono. So the argument still stands, who brought pizza into the States first. So he then said to his boss, he said, hey, boss, I want to open up my own pizzeria. So get this. Boss goes, well, I have Manhattan. Imagine, the only pizza store in Manhattan. I don't want you opening up a store anywhere in the borough of Manhattan. There's a pizzeria on every corner now. He goes, okay, so you go open it somewhere else. So he opened up his pizzeria in Coney Island, Tortono's. Brick oven, thin crust, the best sauce, the best. He had fresh basils, fresh mushrooms. He grew everything in the backyard. And I grew up going there with Mike Buffer's older brother, Billy Buffer, going really back around. Billy Buffer, who had the band, who gave us the originals back when, for the beginning of this interview, right? We would go there and we would be like almost afraid of the Mr. Tortono. He had the big chef's hat, and he'd be like this grouchy guy. And, we're afraid to talk to him. He's going to scream at us. And what my father told me when my father was younger, he would go there and there'd be a line around the corner. And Mr. Tortono toward the end of the day, he'd run out of dough. He'd open the door. That's it. Shut the door and lock it. What do you mean that's it? We've been waiting here for 2 hours. Line around the corner. Like
Brutal.
Tortono's is my top. Unfortunately, I think they're closing after all these years. It's sad.
It's Spumoni Gardens in Brooklyn.
That is another. Yeah. Well, if Tortono's is a 6-minute drive, Tortono's is a 4-minute drive from where I am right now.
Really?
I'm sorry. Tortono's is a 6-minute drive. L&B
Right.
is like a 4-minute drive from me. It's in Bensonhurst. People go. There are tours that people take of Brooklyn because I live 4 blocks from under the L, where Saturday Night Fever, where he did the walk, the beginning, and Welcome Back Carter, the beginning of Welcome Back Carter. So I live 4 blocks from there, and they do tours, and part of the tours is going to L&B. Thing about L&B is they're square slices, they're thick, but the sauce is so sweet.
Yeah.
And the cheese is it's like the cheese is under it or instead of on top or whatever they do, it's magical. So that's amazing.
They put wine in it.
They're getting us drunk. I knew it.
Yeah, I know. They put wine in it. We live very close. We live very close because if you're living there, I live on, up by Ocean Parkway and Avenue P.
Oh yeah.
So we live very
close.
Probably neighbors.
Yeah.
We probably passed each other in. I lived in the Jewish neighborhood, and you lived in
yeah. Oh, we're probably there at the same time. Sure.
Right.
my other favorite pizza is John's is still there it's on Bleecker off of 7th Avenue. Another, if it's brick oven, thin crust, and they put their heart into the way they make it, fresh mozzarella and fresh ingredients. You can't say no. It's just.
Have you ever been to Mount Vernon, Johnny's?
Oh no, but hook me up.
It's insane.
I'm down. Really?
Gramerton Avenue, if you ever get the chance.
I'm in.
They don't sell slices.
Neither does L&B. They just throw pies at you. Yeah.
Thin crust.
Love it. That's awesome.
Insane.
We're definitely I'll definitely remember that. Mount Vernon, yeah.
And what about DeFaro's?
You know what's crazy? I've never been to DeFaro's.
Really?
I don't even think it's open anymore because that's like.
You know what? Everything that you were saying about Tortono was like similar. He used to cut the basil and put the basil on.
Right.
And the line was around the block,
Right. It's the same thing. But for some reason, me and my friends, when we were young, we didn't have a car. We could, take a bus or walk. Yeah. So that's why it was the neighborhood Tortono's. But I think DeFaro's is more like where you grew up, Howie, right? In Midwood or something?
Yeah, Midwood, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard it's fantastic, but I don't know if they're there anymore either. I might have missed out.
It was fantastic. I don't know. I haven't been there in years.
Yeah. That's
Let's go
It's
let's go get a pie because I'm starving.
Yeah, I'm hungry. All this talk about pizza, I want pizza.
I'm so into it. Yeah. Yeah, food can be magical. When food can be when somebody puts their heart into cooking, food is
Ser- Seriously,
life.
I do
Yeah.
these morning streams in the morning sometimes, and like we got people from it's mostly East Coast and Midwest, but
Right.
like if I hit on a certain topic with food, people go absolutely nuts. Like it's crazy. The
I
the
love it.
things that come up, it's just
Yeah.
like bouncing off the walls,
Oh man.
Food is great. I
Yeah,
think I'll
it
be
really
seeing
is.
you, Johnny. Willie's, you guys are coming to Chicago in
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
was just
coming.
telling you. Oh, you're in
Yeah,
Chicago now?
yeah. I'm in the Chicago
Oh,
area, but yeah, I'll see you in April.
make sure you get, make sure you have my phone number. I mean, we're friends on Facebook. I'll give it to you. We're playing at Evanston. The
Evanston
place is called the
Space.
Space.
I've been there
Great,
before.
great venue.
It's a
I
small,
want to,
very intimate place.
yeah, but I want to drag you backstage. You would not believe how great it is back there.
Really?
Oh, dude, they have vinyl, big record player. It's giant. All these '60s retro furniture,
Cool.
Art Deco, Art Deco style furniture. There's a kitchenette, and then there's an entire studio back there for recording.
Wow.
Instruments everywhere. Yeah, you would not. Backstage is bigger than the venue.
Like
Huh.
there's a restaurant, but then there's the
Yeah,
venue back there.
right.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to show it to you.
Just so you
Okay.
Can't
know,
wait.
just so you know,
Yeah.
Johnny, Ryan's taking guitar lessons from Bobby Mahoney now, so he'll be ready by then.
Really, that's good. Well, you know what? Tell you now, you know that song One Guitar that we talked
Yes.
about? I
Yes.
could teach a 6-year-old that song. It's 2 chords, A to D. That's it.
I'm
You
writing
play
this
the whole
down.
song.
A to
A
D.
to D. That's it. The
Got
verse
it.
is A to D. The chorus is A to D. Verse is A to D. It's A to D. There's a passing chord if you wanted to do it before the chorus, but you could just A and D the whole damn song.
I could do that. Now
I know.
that I can do. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Oh, this has been fantastic.
Yeah, this has been really fun. Thank you
Seriously,
guys. I
you've got
appreciate it.
a lot of stories. We'd love to have you back for a round two at some
Yeah,
point in
we'd
time
love to have you back,
whenever
Johnny.
you get some progress on your
If
album or
well,
whatever.
if I was going to say, if you guys wouldn't mind, that would help me a lot to spread the word when I
Absolutely.
actually get a product out there. Would be great. Yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe before
Consider
my
it.
hair turns completely gray.
Well, you know, better than this, right?
You look great. No, you got a good face. You got a good face for it, and
Thank
the
you, I
beard looks
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
Julie says the same thing, by the way.
No, she
There you go.
doesn't. That's not what she
Oh,
tells me. That's not what she tells me.
I need to see those messages.
Stop it, Ryan.
it's saying nothing.
But you know,
That's
seriously,
great.
Johnny,
Yeah.
we're obviously we want to support you when consider it done when you're ready. To put this
Yeah.
thing out, we're there.
Great.
One of the things that Spring Nuts and Ryan and anybody that we don't like to do is that we want to promote the music. We definitely want to put the music out there. It's so
Great.
important, very important. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're there. Whenever you're ready, hit me up. We're there.
No idea how much that means to me and any other musician because that's the way of the world now. It's
No.
crowdfunded. The record companies are hard. They're rare at best.
Mhm.
And even if you do get a deal, you're still paying for it yourself. Spotify doesn't pay. Literally, when you get when somebody pushes play on Spotify, you get an eighth of a penny.
Come
So
on.
it takes 8 plays to get a penny.
That's
Yes,
ridiculous.
not kidding. That's how it works. So 8 times that, you get $1. Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's how bad it is. So we really do need help crowdfunding, and Jesse Malin needs all kinds of different help. So with us supporting him and you guys supporting us, I mean, it's one beautiful, beautiful community that we have. I'm very
Definitely.
proud. I'm very proud of this community. Yeah.
Well, we love you, Johnny. I mean,
Love you too. Thank you.
You've always been great to us, and so it's the least we can do. I hope one day you get to you look at well, not one day, like when this is over, you look at the Facebook feed and look at all the comments that
Oh, okay.
that are being said about you and what else
Oh, wow.
echoing what we already know. I
Uh-huh.
mean, obviously, but everyone loves you, and it's not
feels
just
good.
the music. It's because and we talk about this a lot with most of the artists that we bring on here for this show, is that we always say how great the Asbury music scene is. Okay, and it's not just because of the music; it's because of the way you guys interact with the fans, and it goes a long way. You change people's lives. You know, we always say it, that we dare say that there's no other scene in the world than the Asbury music scene, Asbury Park
That
music.
is true. That is true. I agree with that. Yeah,
You guys
I
walk the
agree with
walk.
that.
So you guys walk the walk.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'll continue working hard. You guys make me want to work even harder. So that's good.
Johnny, I
Good
felt
stuff.
bad for Jesse when we were talking to him last week. I
What'd
don't
you
think he
say to
take
get up and get? Did you tell him to stand up and get the?
no, but we were
Only you can pull that off.
If he's
we were
watching, he's laughing right now.
no, we were all being very kind, and I read a
Yeah,
couple of verses out of his Argentina song, and we each said like
yeah.
something nice about him, and I could tell like he doesn't do well. He doesn't take compliments well. That's what I was,
He's a
and he kind of
yeah,
said that, so it was like, but I could tell he was like having a
yeah.
physical, visceral reaction to us being kind to him.
Well, that shows the kind heart that he has inside and out. He's got a book coming out too, and I'm in it.
Oh
So
wow.
there's that. There's a story that you don't want me to tell on this thing. Basically, the
Wait,
song
worse than running with the strippers and the farting in the
way
van? Like what?
way worse, puts it to shame. So there's a song off the Heat record, Jesse Mountain's record, The Heat, and it's called Arrested, and that song is about me. Let's just start there, and the book will say the rest of the story about how that happened and what it is and why. And it's yeah, it'll be a good read for people, I think.
Yeah, Almost
I
Grown
haven't even read it yet.
coming out in April. We talked about that
Right,
when he was on here. Almost Grown, and
almost
he's got
grown.
his residency at the Bowery
Bowery Palace, it's called
Bowery
now. It's
Palace.
turned it into a theater, a 100-seat theater. I'm curious what they're doing construction wise. I think they said they were raising the stage because it was only so high, and they're making it bigger by doing some other construction. I know the place holds comfortably 125, uncomfortably 175, 200, but that's all standing. If you put seats in there, I guess it's a 100-seat theater. So I'm really looking forward to, maybe there'll be a screen there to be pulled down, and maybe I'll do my screening there whenever this whole thing is done. Who knows? I'll ask him. And I know he appreciates you guys a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
No, he
he's
was a
we love him too.
that's a good man. Yeah,
he was a
that's a
fantastic
real dude.
guest and a lot of good
Oh
stuff
yeah,
to say. I knew
talk
that he
about
got it
stories.
started
Yeah,
early, but when I read that he tried out at CBGB's when he was 12, I was like, what? Like my mind,
yeah,
I just couldn't
yeah,
compute in my brain.
yeah. His first band, Heart Attack. He was a child. Yeah. But there was, CB's used to have this thing called these Saturday, Sunday matinees, like these hardcore matinees, where if you're underage, you could get in and you could, we used to be in the mosh pit and stuff. I didn't know him back then, but yeah, I'm sure he did audition when he was 12. He's got stories. You want to talk about stories? That guy's got stories, amazing stories. Yeah. And I've been on the road with him and spending years with him. I've got to hear a lot of them. And then I went to go see Silver Manhattan at the last show at the Gramercy, January 11th. I was there, and that was extremely moving. I'm not going to give away. I don't want to give away things he did, but I could tell you, I got angry, I laughed, I cried, I got angry again. It was a roller coaster of emotions that he brings the audience on this ride, and he's doing that now at what's called Bowery Palace, and I think it's going to be fantastic again. Yeah,
we're going opening night.
Good. Yeah, it's going to be. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it already, it's amazing, amazing.
And we'll have him back on this show too, because
yeah,
like you said, he's just
oh,
he's so much.
Tons of stories. You won't get the same story out of him twice, the same interview out of him twice. It'll be a whole different thing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah,
love it.
Really, really great. Yeah, he's mayor of the Lower East Side.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you about. I was trying to do a little research a couple days ago. You had a chance to play with Woody Harrelson at one point in time. Is that did I read that correctly?
I almost did. And what happened was, it's 1995. There's this band, Crispy Brown, that Mike Buffer, me and Mike, we're in that band with Matt Kuttner, who's also in Saints in the City now. to that connection. And Alvatiri works for Sam Ash. Anyway, we were at the time, it was a different drummer, Mike Brenner. Anyway, so the gig was over, and this guy comes up to me, and that's a crowded room at the bitter end in Manhattan. Guy comes up to me and he goes, "I've been looking all over this city for a bass player." And I look down, I go, "Okay." And he goes, "I want you to be my bass player." And I was like, "Okay, Woody." It was Woody Harrelson. And I was like, scared shit. I never met anybody famous at that point. And here's this guy, like, I worked for FedEx for 10 years. I was working there from 93 to, in 97, I downgraded to a position so I could tour, but I kept working with them until 2003. So I'm working again, the work ethic pops in my head. And this guy called me the next day, and we spoke on the phone. He wanted me to go up wherever his house was, up the Taconic Parkway. To me, that was like foreign territory back then. And do rehearsals. And oh, there you go. And he wanted to do a tour across the US. And I went up there. I hung out with him. It was great. His wife was amazing. They do yoga. Like, it was just incredible, beautiful people. I came home and I was afraid to quit my FedEx job to do the tour. So I had to call him with my tail between my legs. And I was so depressed after I felt like opportunity knocked, and I slammed the door. Now I'm going to work every day, waking up 4:30 in the morning. I have to go on the subway. And guess what? Giant billboards of his bald head, because Natural Born Killers, the movie, was coming out at that point. That's where we were. I had to stare at this man's giant face, stop after stop. I'm like, I was so depressed. I was like, that's it. Opportunity's never going to knock again. Well, 6 months later is when I joined Marky Ramone and the Intruders. So opportunity did knock. But I was really depressed for saying no to him after that. And I read reviews. It doesn't even matter what the reviews said about him. It's something I always felt I should have did, but who knows where I'd be now? I don't know. The paths you take, the roads, you make a right, you make a left. But yeah, that's the Woody Harrelson story.
Yeah, if you've done that, maybe you don't play with Willie. Maybe you don't play with Jesse. Maybe you don't do all this other stuff. So
maybe I wouldn't have been an actor, or maybe I would have been a failed actor, and I would have been in porn movies. I don't know, whatever.
You could have been managing the Bada Bing. Like, you don't know.
Who knows? Just kidding. But yeah, seriously, who knows? But it was the path we take is for a reason, is why we're all here. So I'm just really happy opportunity knocked again, and the road took me where I am now, and meeting Jesse and him hooking me up with all these different, like I said, if it wasn't for him, I got to play with Deborah Harry, got to play with Ryan Adams and be on his records, and then my man, Willie Nile. I've been with Willie for so long, and it's been my life, being his brother for all these years. And I'm very, very appreciative of it all, of every bit of it.
Total sidebar for those of you watching at home. If you haven't listened, Ryan Adams did this incredible cover album of Nebraska, track to track. And like, it's wild because like the slow stuff, he flips the pacing and everything. Like, he flips them all. Like, it was, it messed with my mind. So yes, check out Ryan Adams, Nebraska.
And check out Ryan Adams doing a whole Taylor Swift record his own way.
1989.
Yeah, I heard that.
Proving to the world that Taylor Swift songs are good. If you take out all the poppy crap production of whatever, he just he showed the world that Taylor Swift has great songs. They're actual songs. Yeah. He's had some problems lately, but we just wish him the best.
Well, this has been fantastic, Johnny. Seriously, you come back again, and we'll ask you a totally different set of questions.
Great, I'm ready. We'll have a totally different set of stories, and hell yeah, I love it, man. Thank you guys so much for this.
Thank you, Johnny. It's been great.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, it's been a pleasure, and it's been great talking to you the last couple of weeks, getting this done, and again, I'll just say it one more time. Whatever you need.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at those comments too. I'm really looking forward to that.
And you can always post in the group too.
Oh, I will. Okay. Yeah. You mean The
Spring
Spring
Nuts.
Nuts group.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
On
you guys
Facebook.
have something. You guys do something in May every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Serenade.
Yeah. Okay. And
Come on by May 31st.
so a friend of mine, I met this beautiful woman named Margot, who runs the Berkeley, who texted me and said,
Oh yeah.
all these Spring Nuts are booking rooms. I said, okay. So I said, that's great. So I'm going to shout out
Well,
to her.
that's a
on
good
this.
sign. I'm
Yeah,
glad
well,
to hear that.
She helped so much when we were checking in and everything. And Jean Minkle, please.
Yeah,
Jean Minkle
Jean.
from LA is she's an angel
Yeah,
without wings, and
absolutely.
you know, and JR, like everybody at Light of Day, but she was part of that, helping out. She's a good person. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I owe her a coffee.
Well, thank you everybody for watching at home. Johnny, you've been a great guest. We really appreciate you taking the time and talking to us. You're a busy man. Obviously you're a busy man, so we
I'm a busy
appreciate you
man.
taking the time.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Okay.
all right. Have a
Everybody
I'll
great
see you
night,
soon.
everybody,
You
and
too.
thank you, Johnny, once again.
Thank you. Thank you guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.